Hey guys, Skizzy here. Today I wanted to make a video about a speedrun doing the Chromie scenario. I went ahead and did this about a week back, and I found it to be really easy now that we have a lot of gear. So this is the most effective method that I found to do the entire Chromie scenario, so that way you can get your ensemble armor and finish your quest. I'm just going to go in the portal here underneath Dalaran and head to the scenario. I wouldn't recommend doing this on your first run. In fact, it's highly recommended to get fully exalted with Chromie by doing the scenario a few times, so that way you can get all of her talents. Once she's exalted, you can get all of the talent points. It usually takes a couple of weeks, since some of the talents require a pretty long cooldown. Some take a couple of days before you can finally unlock that talent. But once you have all of them, it makes it a lot easier. There's some that are quite vital, including the one that allows you to get more of the boxes that include the skips for a lot of the Chrono Portals. Here are the talents that I have set up for Chromie. These are the ones that I've found the most useful. Some of these talents are fillers, so you kind of just have to go with the best of the option. In this case, I'm going for acceleration for more movement speed. Chromie's a healer to kind of allow her to heal me and herself. We've got the third tier talent, which is the Dragon's Determination, which reduces damage to Chromie, which is always a nice thing. And then, of course, Blessed of the Bronze Dragonflight isn't really that good since we're not going to be using it, but the other option is completely useless. Fortuitous is a must. Keepsake Continuum is a must as well. That pretty much doubles the amount of the Sands of Time and Time Lost Keepsake boxes. And the last talent is Dragon Crash, which is not really crazy useful, but it just adds more damage, so why not? After we set up our talents, we're going to go ahead and begin the scenario. First thing I like to do is grab the quests from the Dragonflight guys. It's going to be random depending on what day you do it. In this case, they want me to go to the Emerald Dragon Shrine and kill the boss, which I plan to do anyways. So because these dragon shrines are already shortcutted, which means you've already done them once, so all you have to do is go here and kill the boss, it becomes very easy for this speedrun. In this case, it's the Satyr boss. We already know where he is. Since we have the shortcut, we can just kill him instantly without having to do any of the other objectives. And the Satyr boss is going to drop Sands of Time, which is the key item that we need to get some of our buffs here. Now, what you want to prioritize is Time Lost Keepsake box. That is the box that will allow us to get the shortcuts for the Dragon Portals, which are above the Wormrest Temple. I'm also going to kill this Ice Shatter guy on my way to the Azure Dragon Shrine. These guys drop anywhere from 2 to 5 boxes, so I don't see a reason not to kill them. There's some people that say skip them, however, it only takes anywhere from 10 to 15 seconds to kill them, and you get quite a bit of the Sands of Time, which of course increases the amount of Time Lost Keepsake boxes that you can get. And the rest of the run is just going to be me completing the remainder of the Dragon Shrines and getting as many of these Sands of Time as possible. Now let's talk about some of the other buffs you can get from the Sands of Time. I know I said that Time Lost Keepsake box is the absolute #1 priority, and you should be prioritizing 3 to 4 if you can. I've only been able to get 3 boxes, but I do know some people that have gotten all 4, and that's going to allow them to skip all 4 Chrono Portals as soon as they come in, which is going to make the scenario extremely easy. You're going to have anywhere from 5 to 6 minutes left on the clock. However, you're not always going to get this. There is a lot of RNG involved. Sometimes you'll get maybe 2 Time Lost Keepsake boxes, other times you'll get 3, and then on those really, really lucky runs, you'll get all 4. I was able to get 3 for this run, so it's still plenty of time. I had maybe 3 or 4 minutes left at the clock at the end. But if you don't get the Time Lost Keepsake box, some of the other time buffs that you should be prioritizing are the Fangs of the Bronze, Hide of the Bronze, Wings of the Bronze. Those are just straight increases. They give you and Chromie a buff. So the Fangs give you a damage increase, the Hide gives you a damage reduction, The wings give you a speed increase, which of course is very important. You want to prioritize that one probably, dependent on your gear. If you have really good gear, that's 930 or 940, you should be going for speed increases, since it's of course going to allow you to finish the scenario faster. The other buff is the stolen time, which straight up extends the clock, which is very, very useful. It's, I think, anywhere from 10 to 30 seconds on your clock, so anytime you see stolen time, that's another option that you can get. There are two that I would not recommend getting at all. One is the Bronze Drake, which is the autocomplete for a shrine. Now, the reason you don't want to do this is because you're specifically going to the shrines in order to kill the bosses and get as many sands of time as possible. If you use the Bronze Drake buff, that Drake is going to automatically complete that shrine for you, and you'll lose out on all of those sands of time. The second one I wouldn't recommend is the Time Lost Wallet. This is just an item that will be put inside of your inventory that gives you gold and the chance at one of two pets. If you want these pets, I would definitely recommend doing this as a regular scenario and not really concentrating on the time. You can get a lot of sands of time by killing all of these bosses and sub-bosses, so you're more than likely going to get those two pets if you really want to farm those up. There is one more buff that I want to talk about, and it's the Favor of the Bronze. This buff is completely worthless if you're exalted with Chromie. This increases Chromie's reputation by 25%. So if you're exalted, this isn't going to do anything for you, so you should absolutely never get this as one of your options. After killing all 4 bosses at the shrines, you can start heading back to the Wormrest Temple and start on the portals. Now for me here, as I said before, I've got 3 of the shortcuts, and they are the Brimstone Beacon for the Mount Hyjal portal, the Stratholme Gate Key for the Calling of Stratholme portal, and the Cenarian Circle Documents, which is for Anderhall. So I'm going to be able to essentially cheese those 3 portals instantly. I will, however, have to do Well of Eternity completely. Also, don't forget to turn in your quest. You get 6 sands of time for completing this quest line. Now, for me, I was not lucky for the final Time Lost Keepsake box. I thought maybe I would get my 4th here, but I did not. So I'm going to be doing the Chrono Portals next, and I'm going to be starting with Anderhall. Anderhall is incredibly easy. You just run up to this Torn here and talk to her twice. Then you're going to go to Chromie to grab the quest, and you'll notice that given a little bit of time, the quest will just auto-complete. And that's because you have these documents. So all you need to do in this scenario is talk to Chromie again, complete the quest, you'll get some more sands of time, and then you're going to run back to the portal and go to the next one. And the next one, I believe, is going to be the, Burning of Hyjal. So this is the Hyjal portal, and since I've got the Brimstone, all I need to do here is run up to Chromie and use the item. You're just going to right-click on the Brimstone, and it's going to summon the boss. Instead of having to do the entire scenario, you just need to kill the golem, and if you've already guessed, he's going to drop some more sands of time. You're going to get yourself some more buffs. This is going to save Chromie in this scenario, and you're just going to run back out the portal and do the next one, which is going to be the Calling of Stratholme. Calling of Stratholme is going to be my final shortcut that I'm able to get. Since I have the Stratholme Gate Key, I will be able to make it a lot easier. I'll just head into the Calling of Stratholme portal, and there isn't a boss that you summon right from the beginning, like in Hyjal. You actually do have to do a little bit of running, or in this case, I'll hop on my mount and run to the specific gate that I need to open with the key. There is a quest here that you can get, which I would not recommend doing. It should be over to the right at the inn. The quest takes a little too long to complete and only gives you about 2 to 3 sands of time, which I, at this point, don't think it's worth it. I've got about 7 minutes up on the clock, so I'm kind of just looking at completing this dungeon as fast as possible. You're just going to run to the end here, kill this boss, and Chromie is going to be sitting in a web here. You'll just right click on her, and that's going to save her in this scenario. Then we can hop out of the portal and go to our final Chrono Portal, which is the Well of Eternity. Unfortunately for this one, I don't have a shortcut, so I will have to go all the way through to the end. The Well of Eternity scenario doesn't take too long. I like to stick over to the right side where the actual well is and use that side to get all the way to the portal, which is next to the trees over there. Now, one thing to note is it is going to be completely random on which shortcuts you get. So your last portal, if you only got 3 boxes, maybe Anderhall, or maybe Mount Hyjal, or maybe Calling of Strathall. So it's largely going to be dependent on RNG. For Well of Eternity here, all you need to do is kill these demons, and one thing you may want to consider when killing them is they do drop more sands of time. So you are going to be getting a few more buffs. If for some reason maybe you only have 1 minute left on the clock, this may be a small opportunity to get some stolen time to increase your clock just a little bit. You do have to be pretty quick here with the demons, as I believe they do respawn, and you cannot be in combat in order to take the portal, so that's one other thing to keep in mind. Make sure you've killed all of them and there aren't any demons actively chasing you, like there is here. Once this guy's dead, I'll be able to use the portal, and it's going to send me to the Temple of Elune, or I guess Ajara's Palace here. With these guys, I don't bother even killing them. I did not see a daze mechanic or a slow mechanic on them, so they weren't slowing me down by any chance. And at this point, I had so many speed buffs that I was going maybe 120% faster. So I wasn't concerned about the damage that they did. I did, however, do damage to them first, just in case they attacked Chromie. Remember that if Chromie dies, the scenario is over, so you do want to get a little bit of aggro while you run through them. They don't follow you all the way to the boss either, so all I do here is grab the boss, kill him, and this is going to be the final boss and really the final mob you need to kill. He does drop sands of time, but at this point it's not really going to matter unless you're desperate for sands of time to increase your clock by another 10 or 20 seconds. At the end here is going to be your final portal. Once you right click on it, you'll be ported back to the Wormrest Temple and you will be finished. You will have saved Chromie all of the times in 15 minutes. So that's going to allow you to complete Chromie's questline and get you the Ensemble armor. And here is your reward. Keep in mind there is a cloth, mail, leather, and plate set. Since I'm a Death Knight, this is going to be the plate set. I think it looks pretty cool. Definitely worth completing the scenario in this timed run. I really enjoy it when Blizzard does things like this. It adds varied content to the game that you don't normally see. So I definitely enjoy doing this a lot. Please let me know down in the comments if for some reason there was a mistake, or maybe you have a way to do this a lot faster than I went ahead and showed. Definitely let me know. But other than that, I really enjoyed doing this. I hope you guys try this scenario out, get your nice little transmog gear, and that's pretty much it. I'll see you guys in the next video.